What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review. Happy 4th of July to anybody who celebrates it. And, I thought, it's the 4th of July. I'm an American. I love America. What better to VOD review on the 4th of July than some nice Chinese TFT? The Chinese regionals are going on right now, so let's check them out. I also, this isn't even the game, but I wanted to show you guys. Look, the stage they got for this stuff. Oh, it's always the production and Chinese TFT tournaments is always so sick. So I felt like I had to watch it. And yeah, a lot of NA streamers aren't streaming right now because regionals in North America is going to start tomorrow on Friday. I'm gonna be co-streaming that with Kai and a bunch of other people, so go check that out. I'll put a link in the description to Kai's channel where we're gonna be co-streaming. So that'll be really fun. But while we are chilling here, let's watch some Chinese TFT. Looks like is that a support anvil? The sparkly one? I think that's a support anvil, yeah? Or does the support anvil look weird? Is that just a normal 2-item anvil, like a normal completed anvil? Like, what does the support one look like? I feel like anytime I play in a game, like if I was playing a game, I could tell what this was, probably because I could right-click it. But like, because I'm like watching game, it messes me up. The other thing to say is because this is a Chinese tournament, it's just main broadcast. As you can see here, we are just going to be watching everybody's POV instead of specific players. It means that we don't get to break down all the specific spots as much. We can, stop and pause here every time we want to, but if we paused at every player spot, we'd be here all day, so I won't pause as much. But I'm definitely going to take a pause for like augment selection and stuff like that, where they look at everybody's spots, because this is the really cool thing about Chinese tournaments is that, check this out, we can see everybody's augments. Once again, I don't think I'm going to go through every single little thing, but just look at what sticks out to me. Keepers very strong. All of these options very strong actually. And speaking of which, all of these options kind of mediocre. 1, 2, 3 is pretty good. Caretakers very strong augment, so I could see us seeing a caretakers here. This one, nothing too crazy. Maybe a Pandora's or something. Yeah, the rest of them I don't see anything too crazy, but this is a fun thing about Chinese tournaments is they have this really cool main broadcast where you can see everything here. It was caretakers taken here, and it was a Yorick, and they already had a Yorick, so maybe a Yorick 3 here in bottom right player. A lot of 1, 2s, 3s, it looks like. Best friend, that was 1, 2s, 3s as well. So yeah, a lot of, it's silver augments, nothing too crazy. We can see them all on the left here. Let me move my head again so you guys can check out the caretakers as well. Yeah, a bunch of 1, 2s, 3s, best friends. Yeah, nothing here that I'm going like, wow, I would have never taken this, but pretty reasonable. Also the Exalted, we have also really cool production. Look above the player camera, you can see the Exalted here. It's the one, I think the last VOD I reviewed was this Exalted as well, where it's pretty playable early. You can just play Yorick, Yasuo, Sivir really early game, potentially link up like a Kiana and a Malphite with this on level 5, and you actually have a really strong early board. It was full item anvil, by the way. It wasn't support. The support one, it looks slightly different. I forget how. I know it's sparkly, and we can start to see as we pan around the lobby the full items that people have taken. TG here, Morello on the last board, Protector's Vow here, or Last Whisper actually. Not sure which one they slammed and which one they got. Looks like a really strong early board from the player that we are fighting here. Also, the other thing is Flancy, 60 seconds in this lobby. I can tell because their names say Flancy and 60 seconds. I know there are a lot of fantastic players in this lobby. I had the thing pulled up here. Yeah, let me see. Though this doesn't say 60-second on it, so maybe I have the wrong one. But I mean, if what I'm looking at over on the right here on Wikipedia is correct here, Sudowoodo, Snowy, Achen, like a lot of really strong names. I guess I'll wait and I'll see if I see Achen's camera because I can recognize that guy. Oh yeah, that is to say that this is the last chance qualifier aspect of the tournament. Once again, I haven't been watching all the Chinese tournaments, but usually with last chance, the idea is, people who get eliminated early on, give them one last chance to qualify for the main, finals of the tournament. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing a few people win streaking here. Wow, 65. Wait, is last place here? Is this player lost streak with that augment that does the initial damage to? I'm forgetting. I'm blanking on what it's called right now. Yeah, it is risky moves. That's what it's called. Seeing the icon helps me out there. Lost streak risky moves is quite a risky proposition indeed. So we'll see how that ends up going. But that is that's pretty crazy. Also, it's pretty crazy checking out this player's board. You can tell why they're 100 streaking. Riven 2, Sivir 2, Jax 2, everything. Not really any items built outside of that Morello that we took out of the anvil, but still not bad by any means. The Caretakers player looks like that Caretakers player, I thought for sure that they got York out of their Caretakers, but almost looks like they're angling a Jana Lux angle. And hey, if it's uncontested, it's uncontested. Also, we saw on that player that we just looked at, they already added Ash for the last Whisper Slam, which is really, really nice. This person is lost streaking, but they just won, so now they're going to pop their Anvil. I think this makes sense, right? They were trying to greed these Anvils for quite a while. It's actually... We saw a couple of players doing this where they greeted their Anvil after 2-1. It makes sense, right? If you know that you're going to play for Lost Streak, like best case scenario, you can wait all the way until Krugs, see what your items are, especially because this was a game where I believe it was just 2 components opener for everyone or almost everyone. Yeah, you can see a lot of people like this player here. Yeah, I think it's 2 component opener for everybody. Yeah, pretty much everyone has a full item plus 3 extra components. And so if you didn't want to just slam your full item, like for example, this player here who was belt plus tier open, I think, at the start of the game, if you don't want to make that redemption immediately, you basically have to sack until Krugs to make anything anyway. And you can see, I mean, this player here, the risky moves, 54 HP, a little bit low, holding on to these Zoes, maybe some kind of a, let's actually look back at that for a second, maybe some kind of Zoe, like Arcanist reroll type game here. The items, I don't hate them for it. You kind of have this awkward scenario where like you could make Spark, but you can't really, so you have to make like Static Shift Gargoyle into Rod item. I mean, that actually sounds pretty good itemization-wise, but we'll see. This player here, really, really angling for, I would say, this Jana reroll comp, yeah, with the Gwinsu Archangels made. This person angling really hard for Ash reroll as well, so we have a lot of people, you know, it's TFT these days. It is all about, you know, picking a line early that's pretty good and oftentimes committing very hard to it. It's, you know, for the better or for the worse, it is a game where, you know, very early on you can tell what comp a lot of people are playing, and there's not, you know, any kind of like crazy full pivots that much anymore. Some people might end up in those spots. We got gold augment here, so let's pause again and look all around here, see if we see anything crazy here. And I can see a little bit. Wait, the Caretakers York player, I really want to see their board again because they just got a Raid Boss York 3. Could be fun, but I don't know how good it actually is. It is gold augment, so if they roll and get Midnight Siphon, they are, I would imagine, absolutely chilling. I can't tell who some of these other players are because I can just barely see their augment here. 62nd here with, I mean, nothing crazy here, actually. I mean, good standout augments. I see here Keepers too. Really, really good if you're playing into something with Keepers. Combat Caster just generically broken. Too healthy can be good with reroll stuff, but you'd have to commit to it. So let's see what people end up taking here. A lot of, ooh, Midnight Siphon here for the player who got Yorick. So they're just going to use this Yorick to fuel their econ. They already slammed items onto Kindred. It looks like they're just gonna, I mean, they're just gonna play this Reaper augment here and play, you know, for that. Yeah, with the Kindred items made already, I think it makes perfect sense. Comet Caster, like I was talking about, taking what? Oh, that's the Static Shiv augment, the one that gives you static shock or whatever it is. Because from far away it looks like Story Champion. I was like 3-2 Story Champion. THE taken for this Ash player here is kind of interesting, and yeah, we can see the augments on the left there. Oh, we already. Something kind of interesting you can see with this last place player, they took the Warden augment. So we'll wait until we see their POV again. But that means they could either, I mean, they're either playing Ash or Lux from taking that augment. I believe the statistics actually like playing Ash from that augment a lot better because you get that 4 Warden and you can feel good about it. But we know somebody's already playing Ash, and I don't think it was them. And we know someone's playing Lux as well, and I don't think it was them either. So I'm really curious to pivot back to last place's POV. If they end up in a contested game here, trying to play something from such low HP, it might just be roll down, and if you hit, you hit. If you don't hit, you lose the game. Gwinsu Gunblade slammed here for that player looks really, really interesting. Actually, let's do a little bit of pausing as we jump around here to some POVs. Gwinsu Gunblade here with Crown Guard made. So this is another, it's either Ash or Bust here, right? It's either Ash or like Bard, but we're level 7 here. It's 3-3, we're level 7. Very, very rich here. They use the Exalted Gold to get here. That's why they're so rich here. And I guess the question is, are they going to try to play Bard with this Tahm Kench, or are they trying to play Ash? I think they're open to both theoretically, but really hard to play Bard from that position just because you have so much stuff already getting you there. This player who is, yeah, so this is the person who's playing Jana Lux. That's not the person who took the Warden augment. So I'm really curious to see last place's POV again, because I just don't know how their spot is even tenable. This POV looks really, really good though. This player is just absolutely popping off. We'll see what they end up taking off Carousel here, this last place player. Oh, and we can also, if I can, okay, so they are, it looks like this is last place, right? It looks, because they were the Zoe player, right? Maybe they're trying to go some kind of Arcanist Zoe reroll and then bypass like some of the luck stuff, but then you really need to be hitting like a Mumu 3 and stuff like that for that comp to really win out. I mean, to me, it certainly looks like this last place player is just going 8th. You know, we talk about China being a very strong region in TFT, and there are a lot of very strong players in China, but, you know, at regionals like this, you will certainly sometimes see people just run it down. Also, speaking of the opposite of run it down, check that spot out. Already Kindred 3 here, level 6. They were just rolling aggressively for Kindred 3, and this was... I'm quite sure that their caretakers with the number of Yorks you can see, their caretakers was York, but they just used the York to stabilize their board and then played around Kindred. That's such a cool angle. I'm interested to see where their game goes. And yeah, it looks like this player is just committed to Zoe reroll. Like I said, with Lux reroll being contested, it's really, really tough for us to actually pick up a lot of these upgrades that we need, right? No Amumus. We're holding on to the static shiv components because we don't want to slam a static shiv, but I almost feel like you have to. It's a pretty good item on Zoe. Yeah, I mean, this player looks like he's going to the fastest, like, guaranteed 8th I've ever seen in my life. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe someone else beats him to it, but 22 HP at 3-5? Maybe it'll be the greatest comeback of all time. This is the encounter where everything in the last 3 rows gets some extra HP, so we're going to do that. I think his idea was that because he has this extra gold from risky moves, he could potentially hit like some of this stuff before this Janna player, but he really doesn't have that much gold, even despite that. And that other player ended up hitting a Mumutu and some of that stuff a lot faster than he did, so it's really, really bad for him. This player, though, the one who ended up hitting Ashe early, is feeling great. He's got such good direction. Sleight of Hand's quite solid in this comp because you have a lot of units that you can like a lot of random units that you can itemize, like this Amumu, like the Aphelios that you can just throw TG onto, like Set. So you can use like 3-4 TGs in this comp, like Nautilus as well. So great spot for them. Looks like also a pretty decent spot for, looks like Duelists over there for that player. Yeah, this player here with the Reaper Augment and the Kindred 3, their spot looks so nice as well. And the downside is, of course, because they did all that rolling for Kindred, they're a little bit broke, but I mean, they can certainly push levels. 57 HP is a little bit lower than I would have thought. And yeah, they're going to level up trying to pivot into that other board here. Speaking of pivots, also big pivot from Flancy here. I kind of wish we had stayed on his POV a little while longer because this is crazy. It almost, yeah, he's 23 fortune stacks here. I don't know how many more like rounds he has of fortune. It looks like he's rolling to save some HP. 35 HP. Flancy's spot looks really scary actually. He also, I'm not that in love with Deathblade Guardbreaker being our Kaisa items. We also don't have any Kaisas, and we're 19. We don't have much of anything really. We've rolled down this far. We have 0 Kaisas. We have 1 Silas. We have 0 Gallios. This spot also looks like Flancy is cruising towards a bot 4. Only upside is he did hit this Zaya, which is really important to the build. Bunch of component anvils here from that player with component anvils. The Ashe player already hit an Ashe too. Ooh, a little bit slow on thinking about if he actually wants to. I mean, here's an issue. Is this Ornn 2 stronger than Alawi 1? Because I think the answer is no, and yeah, I think that player agrees that the answer is no. That is so crazy. But he wants to just play the 4 Warden board. It fits with the board, so he's not actually going to even make Ornn 2, which is wild there. But sometimes that's correct. Augment wise here, ooh, that looks like heavy hitters to me. Is that not heavy hitters for this player? Because I don't see, they're 2 healthy heavy hitters playing some kind of, I'm not even really sure what this player on the left middle here is playing. This looks really interesting. I'm curious. I mean, maybe they just go 8th, but heavy hitters from this spot with the 2 health. I mean, obviously the HP skills with heavy hitters is going to put some of your carries into the ooh, also, ugh. Wait, can we look back at this player? They took Pandora's items last augment with Winsu Gunblade slammed already? What were their options that they took Pandora's here? I mean, actually, those 2 that they rolled looked pretty bad. Okay, so yeah, wow. I cannot believe that they had to take Pandora's here, but all their options look horrible. Heavy hitters you can't take. LDP you don't really want to take either. And then they roll into these 2, and they don't want to risk it on like a portable forge item. I mean, I honestly think you probably take portable forge here. There's actually a lot of I mean, you have 3 item tank though. It's so bad. I don't completely hate this Pandora's here. Obviously, if you hit anything takeable for Ashe, Sniper's Focus would be good. Infinity Force is probably fine. Wit's End is fantastic on Ashe. Wit's End snipers are the big ones that you're looking for. If we had open tank item, I would feel a bit better about taking the Ornn item. That's so crazy that they end up having to take that. Top left here. Oh, he took the Duplicator Augment to get a couple of duplicators to go for the Zoe 3. Yuck. I mean, yeah, this player is just trying to avoid going 8th, which, fair enough. Flancy is potentially going 8th. There's the Jana 3 for this player who also took the duplicators once. I mean, yeah, I think there is actually something to be said about this augment in a world where these comps are so contested. These like Mumu, Lux type comps. I could see it. Also, oof, rotating into the Lux matchup here. Zoe just getting perma-stunned, though she is getting a decent amount of ults off, but yeah, not able to get through it. The main thing about the Zoe reroll comp, I feel, is that Zoe takes so long. Oh, we are going to see the cash out here from Clancy. It's a decent amount of gold and a tome here. I don't love tome in this comp. It does allow you to just take like Ink Shadow and then you get Ink Shadow in early, but it's really not that great in my opinion. The normally you just take Ink Shadow, play 4 Ink Shadow here. I guess you can. I mean, actually, it doesn't really matter who you. Ooh, wow, quite the rolls there. I mean, now wait. I mean, okay, if Clancy can survive a round, there is a carousel coming up. He has 2 Zayas, one of them itemized. If there's a Zaya on carousel, he's almost guaranteed to be first pick, but he has to make it through this fight. Oh my god, he's so low. Okay, no, he exacts. He's died, right? Or just barely? Oh my god. Was there a Zaya on carousel? Okay, there wasn't. So maybe there's justice in the world. But no, -1. Flancy goes 8th, and that other player took risky moves, ends up going 7th. My god. I mean, it's just... Oh, that's so sad for them. But, I mean... Yeah, that was a rough cash out from Flancy. I don't know how Flancy ended up in that spot, because once again, we can't watch like his entire game. But I'm a bit surprised at how poor his game looked, because that game looked like uncontested 8th. I mean, it looked like maybe he had a lot more gold on his roll down and he just ended up missing. But I mean, the fact that he was playing Fortune and his cash out was it was just 30 stacks, right? Is usually a pretty bad sign. 30 stacks is like the start of where you have like okay cash outs, but you really want to be getting to the better cash outs there. Double Gwinsu Ashe, pretty suspect as well, especially because that player took Pandora's, so their augment is double Gwinsu's Ashe, which is pretty horrible here. Cho'Gath sate his boon by giving you some extra components here. I love this. Also, whoa, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this board. So this person ended up playing, it's Yorick 3 plus Kindred. He still doesn't have 4 Reaper in for his Midnight, or whatever this augment is called, Reaper something, Evil Town. I mean, what is this board? He's fitting in the 3 Exalted. I mean, obviously you can fit in Kane plus this, and then he's fitting in Thomas Kench as his last unit here. He's got the Rek'Sai in for, and then he's Faded in here as well with the Thresh plus the Yasuo. I mean, he's certainly cooking a bit. I just don't. I'm shocked that we don't have 4 Reaper in here. But I guess he still never found a Kayn. That's his issue, right? He rolled and found 0 Kanes on 8. Oof. So he's stuck without actually being able to play 4 Reaper. I'm sure he would play it if he could, but yeah, no Kanes. Also, this player, 62nd, ended up actually, pivoting into Ashe here. He is contested Ashe, which is pretty wild. I mean, Ashe is a fine comp. Nothing that I'm too excited playing around contested, but I mean, not terrible. Also, this board, 6 Duelist here, 56 HP, pretty strong. They did find an Irelia on A, which is always big. Sadly, we have this Morello stuck on Tristana. We don't have a replacement Tristana, so we can't sell her and move the Irelia, or the Morelloia over to the Irelia. And we also have this blue buff stuck on Tristana, which I'm not really sure. I mean, late game that they can go on like a Wukong, but that's so far in the future. Maybe just throw it on the Rakan for now. This player playing more into the Reapers. Okay, so they decided to play like a 4 Reaper setup with this Exalted. Because yeah, I mean you can actually fit it pretty easily. What are their 3 that they're playing here? They're playing this plus TK, and then what is their last unit? Wait, they have 6 Canes. Holy. What's their last and then they're just playing Yorick here for Umbral. Yeah, I mean it fits actually quite well. Yeah, I mean it looks great. 6 Canes here. Denying anyone else, denying especially that Kindred reroll player who wanted to play for Kayn. That's actually so annoying, and they're just rolling to spike their board a little bit more. But yeah, I mean the Exalted fits pretty well. Yeah, I mean their spot looked really cool. Yeah, this spot I'm not the biggest fan of. They're stuck on 8. They have Ashe too at least. But it's just, is this Ashe really doing that much damage? Double Gwinsu Gunblade. I mean, it's a lot of attack speed, but I do feel like you really want some AD onto this Ashe. At least you have the Senna actually giving her a little bit of AD. But, you know, that's why people tend to build IE, Deathblade, that kind of stuff, just because you really want some kind of AD onto the Ashe. Gwinsu Deathblade, or Gwinsu Gunblade, I feel like is just so much not AD. A Mumu 3 here, man, this player is just coasting to an easy win this game. That's yeah, that spot looks so good with the Amumu 3 and the Janna. This is also just a pretty low cap lobby in general, just looking at everyone. They also got a Moonstone Renewer from an artifact anvil somewhere. I don't know where that actually came from, but hey, Moonstone Renewer, you can be happy with that. And yeah, I mean, any of these fights should be pretty easy here. This board, it's kind of interesting because Kindred can dodge Lux ult, but she can't dodge Janna ult, which is the big thing, and so it is going to be a loss for that player. Never was able to get 4 Reaper in, I feel like, which is so sad. But I mean, you know, sometimes you just have to take a 6 there, and that's life. With that player dead, that means I don't think anyone else is holding on to Kane's, which is really good. Also, interesting for this player here, the Duelist player, they opted to go 9 on just Lee Sin 1. They're level 9 Lee Sin 1 here. They found a Renance for their Aurelia, so they just have their items spread out a bit, like binary airdrop type item setup. And I mean, Lee Sin 1 can do work. It's just really, does the person you're fighting have the damage threshold to kill him? Looks like this person, oh, it's so close, but they don't. And okay, maybe it's actually gonna work out for the Lee Sin 1 player. That's Aurelia on Carousel, by the way. I don't know if they were Aurelia paired there. I think they may have been. Either way, on level 9, it's very easy to see them getting to an Aurelia 2, and that would be really high cap for the Duelist player. In this meta, you know, Duelist nerfed a little bit, but they can still certainly make it work. Okay, so they do have 2 Aurelias, but they were not the person who got the Crown Guard Aurelia. They took Story Weaver +1 with that Riven of its Story Weaver. That's actually so cool. So much cool stuff. You know, in some ways, I really like watching these lobbies because you get to see such a breadth of TFT happening. You know, Story, you're getting fit onto that Duelist board with the Riven for Altruist. Like, so much stuff gets played. The downside is you don't get to follow any one player. And, you know, for anyone who is like, I really like it when you do, like, the singular VOD reviews. In no way am I just going to, like, ever switch to, like, just this kind of VOD review. Because I really like doing the singular VOD reviews where you get to watch a player's entire journey. And you get to really, like, break down all their decisions. But, you know, it's fun every once in a while to do this. And boom, Aurelia 2 here for this player. My god, I really want to get that Morello onto her. Did we really not see a single Tristana the entire rest of the game? Or even just, like, a Yasuo or a Darius, whichever one you don't have in? Because I would really like to move that Morello over to Aurelia. I mean, maybe his thought is he can just find another full item for Aurelia. But spreading that Morello, I mean, the Aurelia does it so well. Also, we didn't see the Aurelia, the Duelist player, fight there, right? Because somebody just died. It was definitely not that Duelist player, right, with Aurelia 2. I mean, I would be shocked. If we pan around to these boards and I see Aurelia player dead, I'll be shocked. Also, wow, look at 60 seconds. Level 9 here, he found the Cinder 2, and he's still Ash 1, but with really nice items, really nice augments. He was actually able to make it to 9 this game on just Ash 1, and it's going to be a top 4 from just Ash 1. Got this weird double adaptive helm Syndra tech. Yeah, I don't... I mean, this is like, it's not bad, right? The mana gen makes it so she's 1 auto, I'm pretty sure. We can watch on the right there. Yeah, I mean, it is 1 auto Syndra. You know, people usually prefer, like, the blue buff Nashor's tech, but I mean, this was, for a while, people thought double adaptive Syndra, like, was the tech. Looks like 60 second. He is going to lose to some people who have slightly stronger boards, and yeah, that person who just won was the Lee Sin board. Though, it looks like he's... Ooh... Yeah, he's top 3 for 60 seconds. So, I mean, if I'm 60 second, I am ecstatic here. I finally find my Ash 2, but hey, a top 3 on Ash 1, I mean, beautiful gameplay from 60 second. He evaluated how strong his board was with just the Nautilus 2 and the 2-star frontline, and the Ash 1, used that to push levels, get to 9, get the Cinder in. There's a pretty decent upgrade onto this board, and just, you know, level 9 hitting a Cinder 2, that's another great unit on your board, and I mean, yeah, that's gonna get him there. He did also middle Ash versus this Janna player. I don't imagine that he can beat this, especially when he has to middle Ash here, though he did roll a declaw onto his Senna there. I think that's who is in the corner, so she actually tanks so many Lux ults, but still, yeah, not very close. 60 second gonna go down, and so it's just the Duelist board versus this Janna Lux board, who will end up winning. Both boards very capped at this point, so I mean, the Janna Lux board, I would say, is the more objectively broken board. The Duelist board, if he can keep this Aurelia from getting ulted, and yeah, really nice, you know, just throw the Aurelia in the middle here. Great items as well. Renan's Gunblade here. She might be able to just get through everything here. And then the Rakan ends up holding the Morellos here, which looks really nice. Kind of a similar, I think we saw this in another game. But yeah, I mean, look at this board go. My god, it doesn't even look close. I mean, that player's stuck on level 8, whereas this Duelist player got to go 9, and with the Aurelia too, it looks like it's probably just a wrap here. TG taken here. I was looking at, like, maybe death cap for Rakan. He ends up taking TG for Kiana here. I mean, yeah, itemizing another Duelist seems quite reasonable. But yeah, I don't know if this Janna Lux player can do it. This Aurelia does so much work. Their positioning around the Lux And the Lee Sin is also so pesky for these units to deal with, who really just don't have a lot of that single target damage. It's really difficult. Also, the Banshee's really annoying for them, where they can't actually stun the Lee Sin, which is huge. And yeah, these fights not even looking close. So looking like it's gonna be a win for Duelists here, which is such a it's refreshing, right? Almost stage 7 this game, by the way. But yeah, I mean, a win for Duelists. That's definitely what I'll clickbait in the YouTube title and icon. Or thumbnail, as we call them in the business. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch this comp do well, because it is such a crazy comp. Also, wow, nice juggling of the TG there. Hits the Archangels plus Gunblade, moves that immediately over to the Lee Sin, and then puts these items back onto the Tristana here. Smart stuff from this guy. So yeah, a really nice win with a Duelist comp. So a really fun game to watch. I guess we'll get a little bit of a view of, no, just this player. I wanted to see the arena again. Show me the arena again. But yeah, I mean, a fantastic game and really fun to watch. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. As I said one more time, oh, there's the arena. So beautiful. Like I said, check out, wow, just a huge, it's so sick. I mean, I cannot, overstate how sick it is. But yeah, like I said, I'll be co-streaming tomorrow. I'll have a VOD to come out tomorrow, so I'll shout it out in that as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Happy 4th. Woo!